Hi, I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. Hey, everybody, so we're going to go through and take a look at my office. And you guys can see all the cool decorations I've put up and the finished outcome of everything. So, really quick to start is the door. So, for Christmas, I got the Alice in Wonderland We're All Mad Here kind of cat smiling look. I had Originally, it was from Brent, and well, not originally from Brent. It was from Brent. Originally, I had it up on the wall, but it's really hard to see against the dark colors. My goal was to paint this really cool canvas with like pinks and purples and like make it look all nice. But it would be a very big canvas to fit all the words on it. And I'm running out of wall space. So Brent had suggested putting it on the door because it's kind of funny. We're all happy in here or we're all mad in here is on my door when you come in. So we'll start with that so everybody can take a look at it. And I'm going to turn the phone around now so that we are all seeing things and I can now see what I'm recording because before I couldn't. So this is the thing on the door. So like anybody coming downstairs, this is what they see as they come into my office. And then once you're in my office, I will do a quick kind of like view around it and then we'll go in more detail and go over everything, but we'll kind of quickly just take a look around so you can kind of see stuff and then we'll go over stuff really cool and point out different things and why I have things certain ways. Okay. Like I said, we'll go over things a lot more specific and show things and zoom out better so you can see things. So to start, as everybody could probably expect, I had way more knickknacks than I thought and quickly ran out of space. So I had to buy a shelving unit to put some of my other knickknacks on because I could not get rid of this stuff. So we can go over each of the shelves. So this is the shelf that's kind of like my fancier adult stuff. A while back, Julie and I would go to the art museum a lot. I was really into like Midsummer Night's Dream and things like that. So this is actually Night Stars. Julie had also given me for Christmas the one year this really cool bottle of wine. It looks so cool. I could not get rid of it. So that kind of went on my shelf. I've got obviously a series of very weird cups and shot glasses. And then this like big, huge hurricane glass candle, just something I kind of found and thought, ooh, that would be cute on my shelf. And then Roger and I he got me started on this Dr. McGully's. The way he likes is the butterscotch. And I happened to see when I was shopping for Christmas stuff this year that there was a coffee one, so I just had to get the small little bottle of coffee. So going to the next shelf is like just all my little knickknacks, and not all of them. There's way more, obviously, but here are some of them. So the eagle, I'm not even sure really where I got it from, but it was cool, and so I decided to keep it. The little turtle is something I believe that Julie got me on one of her trips. Then there's, of course, the monkey from Phantom of the Opera. I am a huge Phantom of the Opera fan. I've got two dolphin statues, as you can see. One's the wooden one, and one is a kind of porcelain one. I think the wooden one might have came from a trip Brent had taken, and then the porcelain one I think was from my sister, maybe with my nieces and nephew. Then if you go to these small little guys, they were presents from Brent on one of his trips to, I think, Puerto Rico's areas or one of those. Tinkerbell and Snow White and the dwarfs are pretty much, again, very favorite of mine in Disney. Manatees are one of my favorite sea animals, although now I have to admit I've become quite interested in the whale sharks, how big they are, but manatees still hold a close and dear in my heart. The polar bear kind of circle shaky thing was from one of Brent's trips, as well as the turtles. They were a gift from Brent from his Mexico trip. So dropping down to the next shelf is my Lego shelf. Of course, we've got my robot that I built with Papa, and he's protecting my door from any evil intruders. The responder truck is something I believe Brent got me for Christmas that I still have not put together, but I will soon. And then, of course, there's my Gravedigger monster truck, and hopefully a monster truck of my own one day. The next shelf is books. So I have Hunger Games, which is one of my favorite series. I do like it. I don't know if it's because of the bow and arrow or what I kind of like about it, but Hunger Games, this is one where I actually read the books and saw the movies. It was, from start to finish, something I followed through with. Then I've got a whole bunch of different Beauty and the Beast books. So I have like the Lost book. I have the Beast story, like how the witches changed him. And then I have also the Phantom of the Opera book. In the garage, I have two different vampire series, but it's just been way too cold to get them. I have this little Yoda figurine just because I had nowhere else to put it right now. Beautiful Tinkerbell one. I believe somebody got it for me for Christmas. I'm going to think it was Julie. And then the seahorses I had bought for Brent when I was on vacation one year, and it doesn't really fit with his decor, so I ended up bringing him home and putting him in here. And the final shelf, although it is on the floor, is probably one of my cutest shelves, and that's my farming shelf, Born to Farm. I've got my little cow stuffed animal that I did at a Build-A-Bear. It's wearing like a leather jacket. And then I have the Barbie on a tractor with her little farm animals. That one was a gift from Brent a couple Christmases ago. So then looking at the floor, this is currently where Clyde sometimes hangs out when he comes downstairs with me. Although he's getting a much larger, prettier blue bed, that'll be on its way. And then there's the baby boxer stuffed animal, which I will tell you Clyde is not a fan of. So going up to the wall, you can see the wizard. There was lots of discussion about the wizard, what we were going to do, how we were going to paint the wall. Definitely did not want to lose the wizard. So it was a case of what could I do to keep it, but still paint around the wall and get it all to match. So we ended up squaring it off. So we did lose some of the outside of it, but I have to admit, after squaring it off, I am in love even more. I also added some new colors to it. So the top is kind of like I blended, actually, some of the different shades of purple I had and a little bit of the plum to make like that weird shade of purple. So there is a little bit of a difference at the very top. And then the bottom, again, with squaring it off, that was some fill-in area I had to do. So I ended up using some of the metallic blue from the side walls. And then I also had Nana had me extend a little bit further. So I had those two pieces on the side. And I thought, you know what? I kind of want to add that plum color in a little bit more. So I ended up putting the plum color there, and I think it all worked out. I really like it. It's one of my focal parts of all my Zoom calls at work. I think it looks really good. It turned out great. I'm so excited that David did that mural when he lived in here, and I'm happy that we found a way to keep it. So moving on to my big shelf, wall shelf, we'll go over all my different sections. I've got my heater. It is a little cold during the winter in this room, so I do have the little space heater. It helps. And then, of course, I've got my Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The secret behind that stuffed animal actually is Amber and Logan actually got it. And I was kind of pouting about it because how much I love the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and they gave it to me. That is how sweet my niece and nephew are. So moving up, I've got my kind of Halloweenish section of my knick-knack wall. So these pumpkins we actually bought at the sandwich fair. You could put candles in them. I don't put candles in them, but they've been put in the back of a room somewhere for the longest time, and I saw them and I thought, you know what? I'm going to have a Halloween section to my wall, and these were two, I had to buy them. I loved them when I bought them, so it was definitely a way now that I can have them out and shown. The next is we've got my Nightmare Before Christmas area. So the Scully and the Sally pumpkins are things I bought new this year. I also got the Oogie Boogie Man. My mom bought me that one. And then I've got some little figurines that I had purchased. Let's go straight up to the Universal Studios Fright Nights. So I've never been to Universal Studios Fright Nights. Funny fact, my parents ended up going when we were younger to Florida during Halloween the one year because my dad was looking at jobs and possibly moving out there, and we had to stay home because of school. And my parents swear they did not go to Fright Nights even though they were there for Halloween. But anyhow, so we've never been out there for Halloween, but this year we had been watching all those YouTube videos and Fright Nights was canceled. So they ended up doing like all this tribute store stuff and we're doing things online. And I had seen the classic monsters and just classic monsters. I just love it. So Nana and I ordered that poster. I framed it and now sits on my wall in my scary section of the room. Moving over, I've got just a whole bunch of little knickknacks. So I've got the skeleton vodka bottles. Funny fact, I've bought these. I've never drank them. So I have no clue if it's even good vodka or not. I've got this vampire wine. Another thing that was purchased or given to me as a gift that I've never drank. The alien cups, you cannot go to fairs without those alien cups appearing. So we've got tons of them. So I decided they had to go on my shelf. Of course, there is my little E.T. and a scary Eleanor. Just some weird doll I bought. I've got my big alien stuffed animal that I've had for quite a while, and then Gossamer. And if we start now, we're going to start to head into actual Disney, Universal Studio comic, and everything else. So we've got our little Minion and Tasmanian Devil, and dinosaurs from like Jurassic Park. And My Little Ponies. And then as we go up, we've got Groot. We've got Baby Hulk. Amber is really into Harley Quinn. And I saw this Harley Quinn Barbie and decided I had to get it for myself. I've got a Smurf. I've got the famous Figment from Disney. Then we move into Star Wars. So I've got Yoda. He's actually a bubblegum machine, but I don't use that gum, so I've decided it's just going to be a statue. I've got Darth Vader, R2-D2 Lego that I put together, a little Ewok stuffed animal, and then there's Chewie. Chewie, I won at my birthday party. Amber did a Kaboot question game, and I won it. Moving again, continuing with the Disney theme, we've got Sully and Mikey's wearing a costume. He's got the Sully costume on, and that's not Mikey now that I looked at it. That's actually the alien from Toy Story wearing a Sully costume. I cannot tell you the name of that bear. I believe he is from Toy Story as well, or he might be a bear from Monsters, Inc. That might be the little girl's bear. Boy, for somebody who is really into Disney, it's kind of funny how much I don't seem to know about it. Amber, do not do Kaboot on Disney characters like that. Before we move on further down the wall, we'll go up and look at the pictures that I have on over here. So I'm really into the Aurora Boreal, although I've never seen it in person. I hope one day I will. But I decided that those would look great on a dark blue wall. So I kind of went back and forth. I was supposed to have lots of tornadoes and lightning and storms. And I couldn't find necessarily, when I finally got around to doing my room, find the things I wanted to put on the wall. And I came across these and fell in love with them. Thought they'd look great with the blue wall, so I went ahead and did those. So going back to Disney, we've got Angel and Stitch. Stitch is bigger than Angel. I, by the way, have tons of these stuffed animals. They're smaller in size. I think I have another two smaller sets. So one will be able to go in my bedroom when I do that. And then the other one, I haven't decided yet what I'm doing with it. So we have my ears from my Disney trip. So the princess ears is the ones I wore when we went to Disney with the family. But the other ears are actually ones I just bought this Halloween, or Nana, I think, actually might have bought them for me. Back up to my shelf, we've got all my little Disney characters. So starting here, we've got the Pooh set, Winnie, Piglet, Eeyore, and Tigger. Then we've got our princesses. We've got Ariel. I cannot tell you the real name of Cinderella. I know it's really hard to say. And then there's Snow White, and we've got our big Grumpy, which one day hopefully I'll put a picture in. And we got Dopey hiding there, and Wally. And we've got Thumper, and I cannot think of Thumper's girlfriend's name. I don't think it's Flower. Oh, man, I am so bad lately with Disney characters. We've got Goofy, which is one of my favorites of the classics. And then we've got all four classics. I've got Donald, Goofy, Minnie, and Mickey. And then comes my favorite, Beauty and the Beast, which Stitch is one of my favorites too. But Beauty and the Beast has been my classic. It's been one of my favorites for a very, very long time. And so I've got the Beauty and the Beast Barbies that I've never been open. So I've got the Beast and Belle in her beautiful dress. And then a couple years ago, actually, I saw these pop characters of Beauty and the Beast, and I had to have them all. So I got Beast and Belle. I've got Lumiere, Cogsworth, Miss Potts, and Chip. And finally have the shelf to put them all. So I'm very excited to have my little Beauty and the Beast area. And then you can see Stitch is hanging from my ceiling. So there used to be a kite here, and I was all positive about putting the kite back, and then it didn't really kind of match and fit. And with my light behind it, I decided to just hang the thing that I keep running into in the back of the house. It was a pretty decoration, I thought. And then I asked Nana. She had bought me this Stitch ornament for Christmas, and on Christmas time he goes on the tree, and then the rest of the year he comes downstairs and is hanging from my ceiling. So that's kind of cute. These are some of my favorite stuffed animals that I've built at Build-A-Bears across the U.S. And then some of the things, the little penguin, the little doggy, are stuffed animals I've gotten either for Valentine's Day or Christmas from Brent. So as we come back, the story of the lights, I wasn't sure how well my room was going to do with the new light that we put in. So I decided to also get a floor light in case it didn't go over so great. But it actually has worked, the ceiling light works great. So the floor light doesn't even go on that often. So then we've got my little shelving unit that's behind my desk. And that holds a lot of my wires and stuff. So we've got the Sorcerer Mickey to hide some of the wires. I've got a Stitch 3D light. So what's really cool about this tower, by the way, is I just push these buttons and it turns the power off for that section. So I don't have to worry about going behind my desk to turn my light off all the time. I just turn this middle button off and watch all my dog fall and everything. And see, my lights go off. The sad part about that is that also means Stitch goes off. But the good news about that is that I don't then accidentally leave Stitch on and he burns out. So we've got my window. This was a huge ordeal. So Brent helped me put the pole above it for the curtains because I'm not very good about hanging the curtain rods. They're always crooked. But apparently when I went shopping, I have a very hard time figuring out sizes. So I bought these curtains thinking they would totally fit. They actually go all the way down to almost the floor. But I have decided, so Brent's thought was we should hem them. Go get them done and hemmed. Nana was like, well, I could hem them, but then I'd have to try to find her sewing machine. So my final result was I was going to bobby pin them up or safety pin them up. I tried that. That didn't work. And then all of a sudden, while I was doing it, I realized I can kind of just fold them and roll them. And now it actually kind of looks okay. So it works out all right. But behind them is still the old blinds, which we'll probably be taking down sooner or later. But they're not hurting anything right now, so we left them up. I have my little skeleton hanging from the heating vent. Just a little knick-knack I did. So moving into this corner of the room, I've got my weapons and camping, hunting kind of area. A lot of these weapons are either presents from Brent, which is probably funny that you buy me weapons. So I've got the Grim Reaper, the mini Grim Reaper. And I got really into axe throwing, so he had got me one for axe throwing. I've got the Crush, cool little knives. That was something Papa and I used to watch the Crush, so I got that. I've got a nice Winchester knife. I've got the buck stuffed animal, which I think actually makes noise. That's a knife with skeletons on it. Pretty cool. And then I have the Aurora Borealis with a campfire. So that kind of, I went camping with Roger. And since I went camping with Roger, suddenly I am back in love with camping. And so everything is camping to me now. So when I saw the Aurora Borealis with campfire, I was just I cannot wait for a day that maybe I could do that. So moving down to where do I store all my stuff in my office now? I found these cool kind of drawers. They're just the cloth ones that open and close. So, pretty simple, just slide out. So I kind of got those, and that then gave me the ability to put up a couple more knickknacks. So this has got sea animals in it. You can kind of see them. It's dolphins and that. The only bad thing about it is it does need to plug in, but I've noticed when it plugs in and turns, it makes like a noise. And I can hear it, and it drives me crazy. So I decided just to put it here and make it look pretty. Plus, I didn't want the wires hanging down for Clyde. I've got this wonderful image, which, wow, really looks pretty right now because the way the camera's shining on it. But I didn't want to hang it on the wall, and all of a sudden it fit right into that perfect corner. This is a mystery box. I needed Nana to teach me how to open it, and I just decided to put it out here. And then there is my violin fiddle that Brent got me for Christmas 2 Christmases ago. And I still haven't learned to play, so we'll move on from that. But it's very pretty. It is purple. And, we even joked when I kind of picked it out and put it on my list that it was not necessarily meant to be a successful sounding great fiddle because it was purple and it's actually like metallic. It's shiny. So it was kind of more decorative. I swore up and down I was going to learn how to play it. And maybe now that I have my office, I will. I'll start watching YouTube videos and hopefully learn to play it. There is my tactical Christmas stocking, which Brent got me this year. And it's got lots of cool little survival stuff on it. Whistles and tick removers. This actually starts fires. It's like one of those fire starters. So since I suddenly became all into camping, he thought some of this survival stuff would be perfect for me. We'll get into my desks last. We'll talk about those. But moving on to this wall. So I did find and managed to get one tornado picture in my office. So my office that was supposed to be all storms, all tornadoes, all thunder and lightning, I've got one tornado picture. But it's a cool picture. Definitely, I love these new canvas pictures. They have no frame, but they're framed, but there's no frame. So I really like it. It's very pretty. And again, it's the color, it kind of matches. On this wall, my favorite thing and my big focal is the Sunset Lighthouse. So this is a cling on for the wall. It was very complicated to put on. Took me a little bit of time, but I did get it on. And it is probably one of the second favorite thing in my room. So there is the wizard and David's wizard and devil, and then there is this. What's really cool is when I do my Zoom meetings, the angle of my camera and the way the camera is, you actually see some of the Sunset Lighthouse and you see the wizard. So it's really cool. But that is definitely, I love that. I think it looks beautiful. I'm so happy. I think it looks great with the navy wall. So it's really a great focal point. It's one of the things I love. And then there's my big old chair. I bought this from a while back. Well, I think we bought the dining room table on that. And I just kind of loved this chair when I saw it, and it came in the basement. I never really got to use it. And I was all set to use it as my office chair, but it doesn't have wheels. And it actually isn't as comfortable as I thought it was going to be. But it's a good secondary chair in here. And then there is my gamer chair. So I had to have a gamer chair, I thought. I watched Amber. I think Amber's got one like this. And I decided I was asking for a gamer chair for Christmas. Let me tell you, for a girl who's on the bigger side, this chair, not really that comfortable. Brent, bless his soul, because that's what I wanted. That is what he got me for Christmas. But it's obvious it was not meant for big girls. So I will probably be asking for a different office chair for Christmas this year. But it works. It's pretty. It's purple, which Brent thinks is hilarious because nothing in my room is really purple. It's blues and everything else. But yet I have this purple gamer chair. And then we've got my file cabinet over here with all my pirate magnets. And that's my lock drawer for what I need to do for work. And then there's my desk. So once again, I had picked out stuff for Christmas, put it in my Christmas list, knowing I was gonna get to my room. Brent had decided that was going to be Christmas for me. He was going to get me my desks and other stuff, but he was always supposed to get me my desks. And they're really cool, but they are narrow. I don't know what's going on with office desks. We've got to put monitors and all this stuff on it. So we ended up then having to buy 2 more desks, small table desk to extend the desks out. So that's why I have the normal L-shaped desk, and then behind it I have another desk there, and then another desk there for the monitors. Of course, it would not be Debbie's desk if I did not have tons of knickknacks. So I've got my little candle that looks like a light. I like that thing. I've got my skeleton and alien vodka, which again I've never drank. My coffin that lights up, and one day I will paint it. Nana got me a little baby Yoda, and it's one of those ones that's magnetic and it can kind of sit on your shoulder. I've got my Till Death Do Us Part figurines I found at a store that I just absolutely loved. Of course, we've got my little alien thing. So the story is, the monitor that I had upstairs has a wider top. So these like little squishies sat on top, but these monitors are thinner and they don't, so I kind of stuck them in between, and so far they're working. My guess is if I move my monitor, they'll stop working. I've got my little boxer figurine, Shark Tooth, the Angry Bunny, Tasmanian Devil as a baby, so baby Taz, and I was always a big Care Bear person. And I don't know why I got the Lucky Care Bear, but that's the one I got. I've got a Stitch Cut. And then, so something we used to do as kids was we always bought these weird pens when we went to Disney. That was like our guaranteed souvenir. They did have some of those last time. So I've got some Stitch ones. I got a Donald Duck one, a Mickey. And then these are the other ones. So I never use these pens, by the way. I buy them and never use them. And then I got Baby Yoda. And then we already talked about the sorcerer that hides my tower. And then Stitch. So that's about it for my office. It was so empty. It was so clean. And it's still clean. But it is definitely full now. There is no way I could fit anything else in there. The last thing coming, I have 2 things coming. One of them will be for the bed for Clyde so that he has a bigger area to lay when he comes down here. And then the other thing is going to be a picture, but I have no more wall space, so that picture will end up going in my bedroom. So that's it. You guys have gotten a complete tour of my new office. The next remodeling thing is going to be one day, hopefully moving into the room next door and cleaning that up and turning that into kind of like a bedroom. And then in that same step, we will also be moving upstairs and taking what used to be my bedroom and turning that into Nana's office and kind of den area. So mischief managed, everybody. Bye.